Webinars. We've all been there, right? Some are absolute game changers, and, well, some are a really great time to check your email. So, what's the difference? Today, we're opening up the complete playbook for webinars that don't just happen, but actually win. This is your formula from that first spark of an idea all the way to the final analysis.
But before we jump into the how, let's tackle a really important why. I mean, you can have groundbreaking content, a super charismatic speaker, and a flawless presentation. So why do so many of these potentially amazing webinars still fall flat? Why don't they get the audience they deserve? Well, a lot of the time, the answer comes down to the very first thing anyone sees. I've seen it happen more times than I can count. Incredible, valuable content just hidden behind a title that completely fails to sell what's inside. It is, without a doubt, one of the biggest and most overlooked reasons for failure.
You can think of it like this. Your title is your webinar's first handshake. If it's weak, if it's vague, people are just going to scroll right past. But a firm, confident handshake, that makes them stop. It gets them curious. It makes them want to know more. This isn't just a label you see. It's your most important marketing hook, period.
Okay, so that brings us to the first and honestly the most critical stage, the pre-webinar phase. This is where the magic really happens. Getting this blueprint right is the difference between an empty virtual room and a packed house. So let's break it down.
Let's look at a real example of vague versus valuable. A title like Marketing Strategies for 2025. It's fine, but it's totally forgettable, right? Now compare that to Steal These 7 Viral Marketing Hacks for 2025. Whoa, suddenly you've got a number, a powerful trigger word, steal, and a really clear promise. It just sparks instant curiosity. And it's the exact same idea here. Improve your social media strategy is just a suggestion. But 7 social media tactics that will double your engagement in 30 days? That's a solution. It gives you a number, a specific result, and a time frame. It's not just a topic anymore, it's a tangible promise. So the big takeaway here is that there's actually a repeatable formula for this stuff. It's a really simple 3-step process. You start with a number or a powerful trigger word, then you add your specific topic, and you finish it with a clear benefit or promise. See, this isn't about being clever. It's about being crystal clear about the value you're bringing to the table.
All right, with your killer title locked in, it's time to plan. A great webinar doesn't just happen overnight. This timeline gives you a really good bird's eye view. 8 weeks out, you're handling the big stuff: date, platform, speakers. 5 weeks out, you're building your assets: the landing page, the emails. 3 weeks out, it's all about promotion. And then the big one. 1 week out, you rehearse everything, no exceptions.
Now, before you write a single word of your script, you have to burn this quote from Ken Hamer into your brain. Everything you create, every single slide, every talking point, it has to be for a specific someone. You've got to know their problems, their goals. If you don't, you're just writing a love letter to whom it may concern. And when it comes to the script itself, there are a few golden rules. You absolutely have to write like you speak, not like you're writing a textbook, and rehearse till it's second nature. But just as important are the don'ts. Never, ever read your script like a robot. Don't cram your slides with a wall of text, and whatever you do, do not skip your tech checks. Okay, you've planned, you've scripted, you've rehearsed. Now it's time for the main event. Let's move into the showtime phase. This is where you turn all that prep work into a live experience and turn passive viewers into active, engaged participants. During the live event, you've got this whole toolkit at your disposal to drive engagement. Interactive polls? They're fantastic for getting instant feedback. A live Q&A makes your audience feel seen and heard. The chat function builds a real sense of community. And for those deeper dives, breakout sessions are perfect. The secret is to use a mix of these to keep the energy up. But beyond all the tools, your most powerful weapon for engagement is storytelling. We're just wired for stories. So share some personal anecdotes. Make sure your story has a clear beginning, middle, and end. Connect with emotion, and use your visuals to enhance that story, not just state facts. That's how you make your content really stick. And please remember this, your opening is absolutely everything. Those first 10 to 15 minutes, that is your make or break window. That's when your audience is paying the most attention. You have to hook them right away with a story, a surprising fact, an interactive poll, something to set the tone for the entire session. So the webinar's over, but your work is not. This is where so many people drop the ball.
We're now entering the aftermath phase. This is where you actually measure your impact and capitalize on all the momentum you just built.
Let's be really clear about something. The number of live attendees, it's mostly a vanity metric. True success is about understanding the entire journey, your webinar funnel. When you track each stage from the very first email to the live event, it tells you exactly where you're winning and where you've got room to improve.
So let's walk through a real-world funnel, starting right at the top. The first number you're going to watch is your email open rate. In this campaign, it was 16.8%. This is your first test. It tells you how well your subject line cut through all the noise in their inbox.
Okay, next up. Of the people who opened that email and clicked, how many actually signed up? Here, we see a 28.5% conversion rate on the landing page. This number is a direct report card on your title and your landing page copy. It answers one simple question: was my promise compelling enough?
And here we are, the final crucial step, the show-up rate. In this example, 32% of the people who registered actually attended the live event. Now, the industry average is around 35%, so this is right in that sweet spot. This number tells you how good your reminder emails were at keeping your event top of mind. Beyond the numbers of who showed up, you've got to measure the quality of the experience. A simple post-webinar survey is pure gold. Your goal always should be to have 90% or more of your audience rate the webinar as good or excellent. This is your direct feedback loop for getting better and better.
And finally, the follow-up. This is how you squeeze every last drop of value out of your webinar. You have to send a thank you email with the recording. You've got to repurpose all that amazing content into blog posts and social media snippets, deeply analyze that survey feedback, and, so important, update your CRM so your team knows who to talk to next. See, when you put all of these pieces together, you're not just running a one-off event anymore. You've built a complete, repeatable system for success. It's a life cycle, not just a single to-do list item. So let's recap the 3 phases one last time. It all starts with the blueprint, your solid plan, that killer title, and your conversational script. Then comes showtime, where you engage and interact and tell great stories. And it all wraps up with the aftermath, where you analyze your data and nail the follow-up. Master these 3, and you've mastered the winning webinar. We've broken down the entire system for you. You now have the complete playbook, from start to finish. So there's really only one question left to ask. What are you going to teach the world first?